I want to look at the next commandment. It's found in verses 4 through 6 of Exodus chapter 20. The second commandment, it says, "You must not make for yourself an idol or any kind of image of anything in the heavens or on the earth or in the sea. You must not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God who will not tolerate your affection for any other gods. I lay the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even children in the third and fourth generation of those who reject me. But I lavish unfailing love for 1,000 generations on those who love and obey me." So he starts there talking about this idol or image, right? So the second commandment prohibits idolatry. It's linked with the first, right? The first talks about no other gods before me. Then he comes in, don't make idols, don't make images, right? You must not, and he says in verse 5, but you must not bow down to them or worship them, right? So there's overlap. So it's not only talking about putting God in his proper place with nothing else being worshiped, not just him at the start, nothing else being worshiped. So this forbids the making of an image or an idol, any created thing that might be worshiped. Because notice that second part, you don't bow down or worship or serve them. So he's still focused on the idol worship side. And some people really take this command to prohibit any kind of representation of God, such as even a painting of Jesus. And I don't really think we have to go that far in it, because I think you can have artistic expression, but the worship of those things, or those things being an aid in worship, should never take place. Right? I think having a painting of Jesus in your home, I don't really think that breaks the second commandment. But if you use that as an aid in worship, or you use that as an idol itself, then yes. Now I think you've broken that commandment in that way. So this image becomes the problem if you handle it in that way. So in that day, as well as our own, worship was closely tied with what we see, right? Even images in the eyes of man. So we're not supposed to depict him in that way. You go to the book of Exodus in chapter 25, and we'll talk about this. God himself commanded Israel to make images of cherubim, which were angels. But these were not to be worshipped. They didn't aid in worship. They didn't help in worship. So I think what God is getting at here is what Jesus, I think, kind of completed the entire thought process and makes it really, really clear for us in John chapter 4, where Jesus said, God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. So the use of images or other material things denies who God is, that he is spirit, and we worship him in spirit and truth. We don't want to try to put those images on him. And remember what happened so easily in that day, which is something that we don't necessarily deal with as much. So I think this one is a little more foreign to us than probably any of the other commandments. Because in this day, what the people did is if they made an image, that image could very quickly and easily become the focus of worship instead of God himself. That's where God was trying to get at and protect them from. So we'll talk more about some of these things later. Have a great day.